We is live. Huzzah. Wait for a couple people to come in, and then I will get started. But, excuse me, while we're waiting on some people to come in for the forecast, as I see my beard unruly as fuck in the camera. But as people are coming in, going to roll through the announcements real quick. If you're looking for spiritual items of a holiday gift variety, sup, Keith? But yeah, if you're looking for holiday gifts of a seasonal variety, you know, the Christmas or the Yule, feel free to check out the shop. Trish and Tiff both have all kinds of sales going on right now for all kinds of cool stuff. Christmas things and tarot decks and points and towers, all of that are on sale at this point in time. So give it a look if you get an opportunity. Also, Mr. Raymond Newsom and Mr. Stephen Tyree will be doing the thing this weekend at the local mystical market. Dustin and I will be there all weekend with the trainees, and we'll be hanging out and doing what it is that we do. If you're interested, it is at the Clarion Hotel off of Newtown Pike. It's the convention center that is attached to it. So come out, see us, come hang out, meet the trainees, put them through their paces. We're doing high fives, handshakes, free hugs, and whatever else in between, as long as it's legal in most states. But yeah. Also, if you guys have noticed, Brian is on hiatus. You know, a lot of the team is taking a minute. The reason why is December is family month, and we like to observe that. So if we're a little slow to get to you, it's not that we're ignoring you. It is that we may not even be looking at the messages because we are at some form of family function or, you know, trying to get the holidays to holiday. God, my beard is everywhere. It's awful. December is our month to also reevaluate and look at things for the team, recharge so that we don't get burned out. You know, there's a lot that goes on in December, even though there's not a lot that goes on in December. So, we will be getting to you guys, promise. We take every message seriously. It's just whether or not we currently have the ability. Outside of the local market where we're basically just coming to hang out and be groovy with you guys, we're not doing any events this month. Classes in some capacity will resume in January, with the main curriculum of metaphysics classes starting again in February. I'm just going to go ahead and call that what it is. So we may be doing special classes like Mr. Tyree or Mr. Seneca or Miss Christina or Miss Joni. There's a whole slew of people that are wanting to do very specific and special classes for you guys that we're going to try and get scheduled periodically throughout the next year. That's one of the things that we're wanting to do. Also, Mr. Raymond Newsom, as well as a couple of mechanics, since Raymond is a fan of the paranormal classes. With him, if Keith would like to get in on it, with Keith, and a few of the others that are on the team, like myself, Davis, Dustin, Brian, you know, we're all paranormal investigators all the way up to our necks. We will be starting paranormal investigation classes very soon. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun. A lot of people have been asking about that. as the house comes alive because Dad is on a live stream. Uh, but yeah, a lot of people have been asking about that, so we're actually going to get that going. We don't have dates. Nothing has been, prepped yet, but that is coming. It will be getting started in the first quarter of next year, so 2023 is going to be when you guys get to do the cool shit. Not like the rest of the stuff we teach isn't cool shit, but this is what a lot of you have been asking for. The reason why we've been waiting, and Raymond is working on this. He had made mention of that last night. We are actually working to find a location. That way, when you guys are done with the classes, we can take you and you can do the damn thing proper at an actual haunted location. So you know for a fact that you're going to get some good evidence if you do said thing proper. If you noticed, schedule is what the schedule is. If I have a quick word, it's usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and it'll be a little bit earlier in the day. Thursdays are going to continuously be the Thursday Night Live, and then, of course, tonight is the forecast, which is a good segue for the two retrogrades that we are still in the middle of currently are Uranus and Mars. And it's a very interesting combination, those two. They play well together, they just don't play well with anybody else. The reason why is Uranus is a planet that helps you find yourself, your inner freedom, who it is that you actually are, what it is that you actually want, the things that make you you, the things that show you that life is what it is and what it can be based off of the decisions that you make. It also allows you to express these things to other people. Uranus equals Doug. The problem with this particular situation is that even though Uranus likes to do that, they like to lead people towards self-discovery and a newfound position in their own life, Mars is not that cool. Mars is the shit talker. Mars is one of those planets because what it does is it promotes external conflict. Things that you have had issue with start to come to the surface. You start to evaluate your relationships and where you stand in them. You start to pay a very close attention to those who are a larger part of your life. You start to really pay a lot more attention to people you work with, your family members, your friendships, your, actual romantic relationships or entanglements, we'll say. And it intentionally picks and prods so that you can test the water. What it is, Miss Renee. So it picks and prods and kind of just makes things uncomfortable until you have to say something. So think about that particular combination. Uranus goes, hey, you're a cool person. You're a pretty awesome person. Here's the reasons why. And you should probably share that. And then when you start to share that, Mars goes, so why are you sharing it with them? And then it makes you edgy. Well, maybe I shouldn't have shared that much. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe, you know, maybe they're an asshole. Maybe I'm an asshole. Maybe we're both assholes. And it starts a particular spiral if you allow it to. Notice how I put that. It will start that particular spiral if you allow it to. What Mars is actually trying to do is it's trying to make you take proper inventory so you know the friendships that are reciprocated and the ones that are just lip service. It shows you, it shows you where your relationships are actually relationships and where they are not. And it promotes a direct and straightforward response to it. Now, you can take that however you want. You can be a paranoid asshole. What's up, Miss Rachel? You can be a paranoid asshole, or you can actually just take stock in it. Ask questions. Be more involved. Sometimes it's not everybody else. Sometimes it's us that's the common denominator in all the shitty relationships we have. So Mars makes it clear where those particular issues are. It's just how you decide to act and react. And as we've talked about a million damn times before this, in life, the only thing that you actually have control over are your actions and your reactions. Mars puts this to the test. A lot of people currently have this thing of they feel as though they aren't allowed to be themselves. They aren't allowed to express themselves. And the reason why is because everybody is confrontational. Either through perception, meaning the person just thinks that everybody is confrontational, or they fucking actually are. Because right now, everybody's personal freedom, everybody's everybody's inner self is being tested in a number of different ways. That's it. Kudos. Working on being less reactive. Working on that thick aura. Absolutely. So now we're going to get into the forecast proper. Looking at the metaphysical good. We are looking at the benefits here. We're currently still, and probably will be for the rest of the year, being as here around the end of the weekend to the beginning of next week, we're going to get another presence of something slipping in. Don't want to bring that up now because I don't want people going ape over it. But by that particular description, you should know what it is. Currently, we're looking at situational chaos. I told you it was going to change, and it has. Now that Neptune's out of the fucking way, we're left with the comfort zones that we've left and the new ones that we are forming. So we're somewhere in between. Ordered chaos. Structured chaos. It's the whole situation of sporadic change at the drop of a hat. This fucking weird thing happened for no damn reason, and it was a one-shot happening. That's kind of what we're dealing with. Weird and random shit. Some of it good, some of it bad. Some of it just makes you go, that was fucking weird. That's what's going to happen with a lot of gifts. Ordered Chaos is a spectacular time to be a Chaos Mage. Those who dwell in chaos and work with it both disrupt it and bring it. Certain types of shaman also are going to have a great fucking time right now. Certain types of ritualistic sorts of practice, such as medicine work, you guys are going to see some pretty awesome shit right now. The interesting part about it is that unless you have your shit under control, now we're getting into the metaphysical bad or the issues. The interesting thing is that a lot of people have a tendency, and this is going along with this comment, I can't see who posted it just yet, but tired of the chaos, trying to introduce balance. I'm pretty sure that's either Keith or Renee. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it was Keith. The big thing is that you're not wanting to introduce balance. Balance is the result. And right now, that particular perception is why a lot of energy workers and a lot of essence workers and a lot of element workers like druids, we're going to have some problems. Because the idea is to calm the chaos, to introduce balance. But usually with our particular method, it is to disrupt chaos. You're going to find a lot of bite back when you try and fix it right now. Because what that's going to do is literally, you know, the cartoons back in the day when you could actually watch cartoons and they were actual cartoons. But the cartoons back in the day where they would step on a rake and it would come up, smack them in the mouth, and they'd back up, you know, all staggering and shit, and hit another rake and it hit them in the back of the head, and they'd walk forward and hit the same rake again. That's kind of what'll happen. That's kind of what'll happen. You'll keep getting beamed in the side of the head when you try to interfere with things that honestly don't need to be interfered with. But I'll give you a hint. In order to actually properly bring balance to a chaotic situation, you have to bring proper change to it. Chaos is just pretty much a harbinger of change anyway. It brings spontaneity and impulsive action into life. Then there's you, the strange one that'll play in the chaos. No, I know a few of you. But the idea is to actually introduce order. Balance is structure. Order is proper change. We're going in the right direction. In order to do the damn thing proper during this kind of chaotic state, introduce order to disrupt that particular flow. Hint, hint. Hint, 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 hint. Sometimes in life, and this is going to bring us into the mundane or the ugly. Basically, the day-to-day shit that's going to wind up going down for the next few days, maybe week, or a little better. Because, like I said, come this time next week, we are going to be in the middle of yet another buddy that is going to shift this particular chaos state into a different type. But sometimes life is full of things that test. And a lot of times we mistake it. Yeah, there's always another lesson to be learned. Yes, there's always something we could do to improve ourselves. But sometimes life puts us in situations continuously that we know we have a way out of and refuse to take that way. Why do the same set of circumstances have to happen to me? Why is it always this when something hits the fan? It's usually these things in my life. Well, think about that. Is it spirit that's putting you in the situation that you're in? Or is it your current mode? Is it the world around you that's becoming an issue? Or is it that you just won't move? This has been a trend, if you guys have noticed, especially with my live streams over the past couple weeks, and it's because I knew this was coming. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. I posted on somebody's feed a little bit ago. Strength is found from the outside. You find your strengths through others. Able to help other people, able to find what it is that your particular gift is to give. You find that kind of thing with being with others. Now, will to survive, not power, will itself. I will overcome. I will survive this. I will change. I will. Will comes from in here. Willpower is the ability to have that will to survive and share that with other people and allowing them to share in that too. In this time of emotional upheaval, because, seasonal depression, traumas because of family issues, anger because current family is, shit talking, whatever the situation may be, holidays have a tendency to be very difficult for some. Also, with the current retrogrades doing what they are, it makes communication very difficult because, one, we're overthinking and we're putting words in other people's mouths and actions in other people's hands when they haven't spoken and haven't moved. And on the flip of that, we're expecting that to be the case coming towards us. Someone's probably saying this about me. Someone's, probably upset because I'm not, or I am, or this or that. In this particular time, where most people are questioning themselves as well as those around them, now would probably be the best time to give a motherfucker a hug, give him a high five, get that interaction, that real interaction. Instead of focusing so much on the difficulty that life is bringing, now would be a good time to think about what it is that you've actually gained. And I'm not talking about counting your blessings. You should do that on a regular basis. That's just good heart and head health, is to count your blessings. But what I'm talking about is what it is that you're gaining. What are you actually grateful for? It's easy to get down into a point where we wallow, and the human condition forces us into a space that's pretty dark. But what are you actually grateful for? It kind of brings tears to your eyes, actually, when you start to really think about it. What am I grateful for? From the smallest thing to the biggest. And that's good. I've gained life lessons to become who I'm meant to be instead of who I became. Very good. But what are you grateful for? It's a different thing altogether. You can talk about what it is that you've gained, which is important. That's what keeps you out of that particular funk, that personal hell. That's what keeps you moving. What is it that I've gained? What is it that I'm gaining? That keeps you motivated. It also allows you to see what's coming and plan ahead. But what are you grateful for? What are you actually thankful for? Very good. Keith says he's grateful I'm still here to help others. That's awesome. But why is that? And that's the next question to ask. I'm grateful for this, but why? Think about that. Why am I grateful? Why does this make me happy? Why do I find the will to live in this external situation? Why? And the answer to those particular questions, that's going to help you find your heart. The real answer, and I see what you're saying, Keith, but the real answer, that's what's going to help you find your heart. Once you find your heart, you got a good damn foundation. You have the ability to build. You have the will to build. And other people will see that will to build, and it will build your strength. Because then you're going to have a community to help you build. Sometimes we get in our own way because we're caught in a certain mode of action or a certain frame of mind. Now would be the time to question that. Now would be the time to question it. Why do these things actually upset me? Why am I angry all the time? There we go. Do the thing, camera. Grateful for the true person I want to be. Tired of running. Time to face the good person I am. Time to help. Let's see. Time to help this world be better. Absolutely. Very good. Notice that feeling. Even just typing it. Notice that feeling that you've got. Just typing that comment. Take the time and read that back to yourself. Notice how that makes you feel. If you guys are having a hard time, and I know that a few of you are, if you guys are having a hard time, I want you to do me a favor. It's difficult and it sounds stupid, but I want you to do me a favor. Get you a piece of paper or two. Yes, you are worthy. Get you a piece of paper or two and just write. Don't have a subject in mind. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about punctuation. If it's in there correctly, it's in there correctly. If it's not, it doesn't matter. Get you a piece of paper or two and write. Write until it's full. Front and back. Write until it's full. Then reread it. I guarantee you're going to find where some of these issues are coming from. It's amazing what it is that you can say when you put pen to paper. Then once you've done that, take that other piece of paper and write what it is that you're grateful for. Not just the blessings that you've received or the boons that you've gained. Write what it is that you're actually fucking grateful for. And reread that one too. Guarantee you're going to find the answer on how to resolve that problem you wrote on that first piece of paper in the second one. Now's a good time to just not get in our own way. Happiness is not something that you work for, strive for, have to pay, the piper for. Happiness is a free gift that is given. All you have to do is accept it. We're privileged with a whole lot more than just the basics. Everybody, everyone receives the same gifts from the same source, and they are all just as amazing from person to person. It's just whether or not they're accepted. Things are given freely on a daily basis. Kindness, happiness, mindfulness, love, compassion. These things, once you actually begin to accept the fact that you are deserving, you are worthy, as Renee has said. Once you start to realize that, and you start to accept those free gifts, the things that are given to you without any kind of persuasion and without having to ask, you'll understand how fruitful your life actually is and how rich you actually are. As I'm assuming this is Renee, you have to choose happiness. You need to find it in the littlest of things. As soon as you begin to understand it, I am deserving. I am worthy. I am loved. I am able to heal. I am becoming whole. As soon as you're able to understand those particular mantras, life takes a completely different course altogether. And even in the roughest times, you can still find meaning. Not in the lesson, but you can find meaning in life itself. Well, that's enough of the granddad wisdom. I think I have told the people that need to hear that particular thing enough of that particular thing. And I will let you guys get back to your Friday. But y'all, be awesome. Because I know you are. You guys are made for great things. You're dynamos that can burn brighter than any star. Pierce through any darkness and shed light on any situation. Understand your worth. Understand the gifts that you have. Understand the gifts that you are given. And allow yourself to express yourself in such a way that people understand. Mars may be forcing us into inventorying our relationships, but it doesn't mean it has to be a bad thing. Right? Alrighty. I will be probably seeing you guys tomorrow sometime. We'll be going live, I'm sure. If we don't, then I'll see you sometime next week. But until then, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And remember that those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'll say it again. Those that have the power to change themselves have the power to change the world around themselves. Life doesn't get better on the outside. It starts with us. Love you.